Well, hey, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the internet space out there, cyberspace. Welcome to another live stream. Today is, what is the date? November 2nd?
Yep.
Thank you.
11 to 23.
Whoops, you just went black.
Oh, what?
What is this, like real TV going black?
This is live TV.
So here we are. Wes, as you can hear, is with me today.
Why is this not working?
Do you have the power on? We got Gail working on the chat, and here we are for another day of fun talking about guitars. And remember, this is your live stream, not mine. So please bring up questions and whatever requests and all that stuff. I can always say no. But anyway, if you're not here, we won't be here either. So you are very important. Otherwise, what would we do on a Thursday, Wes?
I don't know, but I need to see if my camera's... Why is it not working? Uh-oh. That's not good.
Well, can you borrow one of these other ones?
Not necessarily, no.
Okay, well, let's see who is here. Adrian Lee. Hello. And Joel Henderson. Joel's in the house. Wonderful guitarist. And where do you live? Michigan, I believe, right? And then
Indiana, I want to say.
You want to? Oh, Indiana, yeah. And Roland, hi Roland, how you been, man? So Roland is in the accelerator program, doing wonderfully. Lefty 54 from Texas. Gail Severson, I know her. And Jim Rolfe. Jim Rolfe, thank you. Jim Rolfe is the first person to sign up for our Jazz Guitar Fest March 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. It's beginning on Friday at 2 o'clock, and we'll probably go till 9 or 10. The next day we start at 10 o'clock. We go to 9 or 10. The next day we start at 10 o'clock and we go, 6 o'clock or something. So, gosh, if you could join us, we're going to have fun. So far we've got Hendrickson Amplifiers sponsoring us. We've got, I've got Bruce Foreman lined up, Brad Rebution. I've got Gary Newmark on drums. I'm hoping Dylan Johnson on bass. So, the vision is that we're going to have classes, and there'll be 2 simultaneous classes. So I'm asking the teachers to do 2 classes, one day and one the other. So somebody can attend, it's a drag when you've got to, choose between 2 people. I want to see this guy, I want to see, they have classes at the same time. Oh, and here's our new website, I think, right?
Yeah.
But it's not for human consumption yet.
Yeah, it should be up and running the next day.
Yeah, a weekend of listening and learning in the beautiful seaside town of Cambria, featuring classes, artists, concert exhibitors, jam sessions. It will be a true jazz guitar player's dream weekend. And in the area, Pat Kelly, I forgot. Pat Kelly's going to be there, yeah.
Yeah, there's some others too. We'll be adding to the website, once we start locking down all the details.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yes. Holy cow, only 119 days left.
Yeah, you like the little countdown that I have?
I like that. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, so
jeez.
Get ready, people.
And
the venue is amazing. I mean, it's right on the coast. So this really cool lodge feel.
Yeah,
so very outdoorsy kind of.
That's where the classes and the bar is inside there. The rooms are beautiful rooms.
Good food.
We had a totally most excellent meal there. There's the bar, And we hope to have music going all day there. They have a nice little stage, and there's some wine.
Yeah, we're in wine country.
Total wine country. And they've got these little alcove things. Okay.
Yeah, so just the whole grounds of that place is pretty amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just totally done up and scenic, and there's gardens and stuff everywhere.
Oh, there's
so.
Kevin, yeah. All right,
So, yeah.
what does it say there? Scroll down, concerts, what? Can you go back? No? Yeah, concerts, clinics, pro clinics, intimate performances, jam sessions, yes. Thriving community of jazz guitar players. Great food. Look at that little venue there. That's so cool.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, we'll get this website out to you guys in the next day or two, so you can start keeping tabs on it. But it's going to be a big deal.
Yes, it will be a big deal. So yeah, we're committed. But actually, we ought to be committed. We're doing it. So we're rolling the dice. We're hoping you show up. Let's see. Totally. What does it say? He never returned it as a horses here.
That's Al. Totally Tuberous. Finally made it on time from Massachusetts. Todd Richmond's hanging out in Lompoc. What's going on, Todd? Fading to black is the hot new trend. Yep. That is true. But I'm here now. I got it figured out. It's a bad HDMI cable.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Oh, man. We need to buy some more of those because they just, all of a sudden, just
stop working.
I don't think I'm going to work anymore.
Yep.
Jeez. And, you know, it's not like a guitar cable where it goes, and then you can kind of figure out, the time for a new cable. It just stops, and then you don't know. So the song I played was the work song, and that was from the JGI course. And so it's a chord melody. So you know the tune. And so here's how we harmonize it. Check this out. That's how it was supposed to sound anyways. So that's like a little chord melody of it. And then we go into a minor blues. So I like that song, man. It's hooky as can be. Nat Adderley or Cannonball Adderley, one of the two, put that together. Excuse me. That's a great tune, fun to play, minor blues. So, JGI course. That course.
That's the jazz improv.
Jazz guitar improv.
Jazz guitar improv. Yes.
That's right. Yeah.
Why do I hear music? Oh, cause I'm broadcasting music.
Okay,
Maybe
good.
that's why. Yeah. Anyway, jazz guitar improv course is a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It. I'm trying to bring up the website right now, but.
Okay.
Oh, here you go. So yeah, this is our course where you learn these 6 songs front to back, all structured.
Right.
For you to just
10 lessons per song.
Yeah, so you'll learn these songs like.
That's like 60 videos.
Yeah, it's more than that. But you'll walk away knowing how to play these songs.
Well, not only that, how to improvise to them.
Yeah.
That's what the course is all about, improvisation. So I write out solos, have you rearrange the solos, first learn them, then rearrange them, then rearrange them again. And pretty soon you start building a vocabulary. So
if you want to improv, this is an easy way to do it, for sure.
you see that picture of me there with that one guitar, right? Go up one.
Yeah,
That was the very first Heritage I got.
right.
When they sponsored me, they sent me that. They said, "Hey, we got this one here, and before we're going to build you one, but before we do, you want that one?" And I said, "Sure," And so now they're so hard to get. Oh, my God! And that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about this right here, which is a Heritage 575. Or Wes, do we want to talk about this right now?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, which is a 575 custom, meaning it's got wonderful inlays. This one has a rosewood fretboard, mahogany neck, bound gold hardware, bound headstock. It's just dressed up a lot more. Now, this is a 2002, I believe. And I raised the, let's show it off a little more. I raised the pickups off the top, if you can, probably go this way, if you can see that. Tiny little washers in there just to raise it off the top. It gives it a little more high end. Are we running flat, Wes? on
Yeah.
this? Yeah, we are. Okay. You get a sparkle at the top when you raise that. And so anyway, I've got this one. I'm going to offer this up. I don't need two of these like all these other things, but it's beautiful flame on the back. It's got a couple little dings and some belt buckle rash that is real hard to see.
Yeah, that's cool looking.
Isn't that
wood,
bitchin'?
yeah. Wow.
It looks pretty yellow on this picture here, but it's a much darker amber, and I forget what they call this. This is an amber burst, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it has that iced tea, like, kind of
Yeah.
look to it, you know?
Iced tea with lemon.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, and
It sounded really good on that first song.
yeah,
I was like, wow, that thing's that thing's not playing around. That thing,
no,
this thing is.
you know what? Both of these are. Anyway, so this is 2002.
So what makes it the custom?
The binding on the fretboard, the binding on the headstock. I think a custom used to have a ebony fretboard. I'm not really sure about that,
And it's got that tailpiece.
but it's also gold hardware. This has Schaller pickups, and let's play a little bit.
Here, I'll kill the mic here.
Oh, good idea. I feel like, I don't know, something is distorted in my headset. Maybe it's the headset. I don't know if we're overdriving or something.
I don't hear any distortion in my headset.
Okay, well,
You always are saying that, so.
maybe it is my time to get some new.
Well, we needed new headsets yesterday.
Really, what
or
happened?
weeks.
What happened yesterday?
I don't know, but
Okay.
our headset selection is not.
Yeah. So anyway, that reminds me. There is on the website. There's a version of the work song. Let's see if I can find it. That's in a different key. It's in A minor. Let's see. Let's see what this sounds like. You might have to ride that fader there, Wes.
Okay.
Anyway, I guess it's been a while since I played one. Anyway, there it is. And, I've got these guitars, and I'm so bad about putting them on the website. I just never do. And so they're just sitting around, and they're stacking up. I can't get in my room anymore. So I got to get them on the website. Or if you're interested, just call me and get you a price and all that stuff. But these don't fall out of the trees too often. And so if you want one of these, get it. But I got to tell you this. This particular, this is how it works with me and these guitar companies and stuff. I emailed the guy, my rep for Heritage, and said, I just typed in and said, I've ordered, I know, 2 or 3 575s and 2 or 3 Eagle Classics, and it's been a couple years. Do you think one's going to show up? So what happens 2 weeks later? One shows up. And so I guess he felt guilty. All right, so look, I am so impressed with the new build on these guitars. I Well, y'all come on down now.
Yeah.
We got us a hold down going down here. Look old.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Look at old Bandit Run. Smoke. Well, that's a great song to demonstrate this guitar. I don't even know what song this is. No idea. Oh. God. Stop.
You can't make it stop. Wow.
A little comic relief. Okay.
That was
All right.
funny.
All
That
right.
was fun.
So, go see Cal. Go see Cal. Go see Cal. Yeah, my daughter, when she was a little baby, Cal Worthington commercials, but she would always say, Goosey Cow, Goosey Cow. All right, so I'm totally impressed with the build on these. The finish, you wouldn't believe how good this feels.
So yeah, that's brand new.
This is brand spanking new guitar. And I opened it up and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, this thing is totally bitchin'. It's just the build on it, like I said, it is so solid. It just feels solid. It's got nice little flame. We're talking a solid carved maple top on both of these guitars. Actually, it's all solid woods all around. Maple top, solid maple sides and back top. And the finish on it is just gorgeous. And the neck profile feels just right. There was always a variance in the 575s because they were hand done, and they used to custom shop things and stuff. Now they've settled in on some measurements, and I tell you, it feels great. Now this has Seth Lovers, and I've replaced the strings. I didn't even lower the action. I mean, it just came, which really nice, which I gotta say, over the years, they weren't always like that. I would have to cut the nut a little bit, and it just was too high, and this guitar just came perfect. And so, very impressed with this guitar. Let me try this song again. Yeah, let's play something else on here.
Yeah, that one sounds pretty good too. I like it.
Yeah, and this is a brand new guitar. It'll only sound better the more it gets played. But anyway, I'm very. These are guitars that lifetime guitars. I want to say they're just freaking great.
And it's what how does it feel? I mean, it's better than a Gibson 175 in your view, right?
You know, I think it's got a better tone because of the position of the pickup and the solid woods. So I think it's got a better tone. The Gibson can sound dark, very dark, but not, it doesn't have a full range of stuff. Now the 570 or the 775 I think is better. But it's good. This has got that high-end sizzle that is just so sweet. I don't know if you can hear it. I mean, that's just beautiful. Let's play this Shadow of Your Smile, Wes McCamey version. Get ready, Wes.
Yep.
Chord is. Anyway, yeah, no, it's got the sound and it's got the feel.
Yeah, that sounds really good. Definitely.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I'm just really impressed. And a lot of people were worried, like, oh man, it's that they changed owners. You know, it's owned by Band Labs, half by Band Labs at least, and half by a Canadian company. But they were very committed to keeping the tradition of the instruments, and you know, the same people are working on it. I don't know who built this, but Pete Farmer is one of the builders and supervisors and stuff, and so I'm sure it is a great job. So anyway, again, if you're interested in this, let me know.
So what do you notice a difference between the brand new one and the older one? I mean, is there a different feeling? Is one heavier? What's kind of
Yeah,
the
as a matter
feel
of
of
fact,
them?
this particular guitar, it seems a little bit heavier. I could be wrong, but well, I don't know. Not really. Maybe an ounce or two or something. I don't know. Well, the custom is they're essentially the same guitar. As far as the build of them, I don't know. The finish on this thing is just super nice, and I know it's just done so beautifully. This seems like a thinner finish on it, but do you ever thump your guitars?
Yeah, what are you doing there?
Just listening to it.
That one sounds deeper.
Deeper, doesn't it?
Yeah. What is the depth of the 575?
It's like,
It's thinner than the 175.
Yeah,
Edward is asking.
yes, yeah, it's a thinner, a little more comfortable, So the guitar neck and the guitar is a little closer to you. I think this is 2 3/4, I think. 2 3/4.
Do you think the width of the 175 makes it darker sounding? Edward's wondering.
It does something. It has to. Everything matters on a guitar. And so, yeah, it does something. The David Becker model of Heritage was a solid maple top, but the thickness of a 175. When you get used to playing that shape in that distance there, sometimes it's hard to to go back to this or vice versa. But I feel like you got a little more. The guitar is right here. You got a little more control. So.
So don't you have other 575s? Do you have another one?
Yeah, I have my custom one.
Got it.
The yellow one, the almond one.
Mm-hmm.
Should have brought that out with a 5-piece neck. This has mahogany neck, and the 5-piece neck is a little more solid as far as strength-wise. It's a little thinner. They can cut it thinner, but it is a harder wood, and so I think the mahogany is a little more mellow. So anyway, again, so if you're worried about, they changed the build on these, and the company changed and all this. Well, they standardized some things. They brought in CNC machines but they're still done beautifully. But probably even, you know, like when you look at inside, even the F hole, you know, it's got a nice finish on the inside of the F hole. It's just sometimes, you know, Gibson, I remember going to the NAMM show one time, and it looked like they finished the guitar and then cut the F hole out because it was just no finish on the F hole there. It was just like white maple. So it's like, what's going on with that? It was weird looking.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's interesting. How much work did you have to do on that?
I didn't do any. All I did is change the strings.
Oh, really? Wow. So the action feels good.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. I mean, it's slow, man. You know how I got it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Normally you make, adjust the neck and stuff on those.
Yeah.
From the factory for sure. Yeah, cool.
I mean, yeah, it's just right. So it's weird. I've never had one come this nice. So, anyway, if you're looking for a nice jazz box, 575 is a wonderful option. And gosh, they're not getting any cheaper. Grief! Every time I go to their website, the price has gone up.
Just like everything else.
Just like everything else, yes. Yes, you have to go take your car into the mechanic. See how much it is.
Get an oil change.
Yeah. Oh, you want oil? Well, it's going to cost.
It's $100.
$100 there, yeah.
Although at Walmart, it's only like 45 or $50.
Really?
Yeah. It's like, wow, that's anywhere else it's at least 90.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
The difference between when a guy changes his oil and a woman. Here's what happens. A woman sees that her oil needs to be changed, so she takes it in and she pays the $69.95. Gets it done. Now the guy, he says, yeah, man, I ain't spending all that. So he goes to the auto parts store and he buys the oil and the filter. And then while he's there, he finds a couple of tools. Well, he's got the oil and filter, so that was $29 now. But he finds a couple of new tools, but you'll use those again sometime. And those were $79. And then on the way home, you decide to stop at the liquor store because it's hot. And so you're going to pick up a 12-pack of beer. And you proceed to jack up the car and you change your oil. And then you realize, oh, shoot, man, I stripped out the drain plug. God darn it. You go back to the auto parts store, and on the way there, you get pulled over and you get a 502 and you spend the night in jail. So $69.95 or $10,000 for the oil change. That's the difference. I think that's funny.
I mean, it's logical.
It is logical, yeah.
Yep.
Another 3 weeks and we get to see Rich's gorgeous Christmas guitar. Oh, that's right. Gosh, I didn't plan any Christmas song for here today. Shoot.
Yeah, it wasn't a big week for planning stuff. I actually hurt my foot. I've been in bed for the last 3 days with my foot up. So it's throbbing right now, actually.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a big soccer injury this past weekend.
That's what you get.
The dude stepped right on my foot.
Why? Why'd you let him do that?
I don't know. But I kept playing after, and that was probably not the best idea.
No.
But I scored a goal after the injury. So
that's good.
Totally worth it.
That'll put you in the books.
Yeah, gotta score. That was
good.
my second goal of the game.
Well, that's great. Did you guys win?
No, we lost 4-2. But
No.
I won because I scored 2 goals. So that's
You
all,
scored. You scored the two.
yeah.
You're
So I've
kidding.
had 2 games and 2 goals in each game. So
Really?
yeah.
Wow, that's fantastic.
And then playing against dudes that are like half my age. You got
Well,
those other guys that are like 25 years old. I'm out there scoring all the goals.
well, you're a wonderful soccer player, man.
Yeah. So we'll see if I can heal up before Sunday.
You don't go out there again.
Oh man.
What
Oh,
Kirby asked, "What's the desired location?" Excuse me, to install a strap button on the neck of a 535. Well, this did not come with a strap button, and so I put it where I like it, right there. Goes right into the neck block. Some people would put it here, but this is in the way, so it's not going to work there. I don't like it here. Personally, I don't think the guitar's strong enough. I mean, probably it is, but I hate the way it tugs on you. I don't like it on the neck as much either. I put it right there. Bada boom, bada bing.
Shit is KC says go work him FC.
Hey,
I don't know where that.
What did
that
Todd
came, but-
Richards say? And once the guy is out of jail, he decides to change the brake pads. Ends up in a Fredville prison on bribery and fraud charges. It's a long story. I'll bet.
Shit is KC. Is that an English team? And by the way, Shit is KC has a discovery call with us tomorrow about
really?
Jazz Guitar Accelerator. Yeah, sure. We're excited to sit down and meet you. Definitely.
Oh,
And there's going to be some more slots opening up too soon. So if you guys are interested in doing one-on-one jazz coaching, we got 1 or 2 slots to fill here in the next 2-3 weeks. So let us know. Oh, it's a team.
yeah. So I was just trying to. It's a team in Wales. Huh?
Yeah, owned by Ryan Reynolds and the other guy. Huh.
Who's
Interesting.
Ryan Reynolds?
He's an actor. He's been in the superhero movies and stuff. You would know him if you saw him. He's a huge name actor.
You know, speaking of actors and actresses, one thing I wanted to bring up. You know, it was too bad Susan Summers passed away. Remember Susan from Three's Company? And the reason I even wanted to mention, she's not a guitar player, but my band, she came to a local casino, and our group opened for her act. And I was really impressed with how talented she was. You know, I always thought she was this dizzy blonde, you know, or the girl that didn't speak in American Graffiti that just drove the T-Bird around. But she could sing and dance, and she sang a bunch of standards and danced and told some funny stories. She was always talking about George Lucas, how, you know, she had gotten a call to do the American Graffiti that had changed her life, and that she, I guess, never met him through the whole making of the movie. And then she also, you know, everybody makes fun of her with the Thigh Master and all that. I was reading about her. Her and her husband bought the rights to that thing and made $300 million off the Thigh Master. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Yeah. So she was an entrepreneur as well, and pretty. She was, you know, when we did that thing, she was 60 years old, and I was, you know, we're saying she's 60. Good grief, you know, she looked wonderful. So anyway,
Al said, and she was amazing with the Thigh Master.
yeah. Yeah, you probably sat around and watched that commercial all day. Yeah. So Anyway, that was too bad. She was struggling with breast cancer, and it finally got the best of her. But anyway, I just wanted to let you know she was very talented. I was knocked out. I was like, wow, jeez Louise. Anyway, on to other things now. Let's see. By the way, I have another Eastman coming in. So we have three 372s. And again, this is how it works with the guitar companies. Oh, by the way, we just billed your credit card, and here comes a guitar. And I guess I had ordered it a long time ago, but it's another 480, the Pisano 480. The last one went like, but that'll be coming in. That's a nice guitar. Not this nice. You know, I think it's Mark Larkin. Mark, I saw Mark on the chat.
Yeah,
here.
he's here.
Is he here? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, he said, you know, between a high-end guitar and a low-end guitar, there might be 80% difference in sound and feel, or no, 20%. But you pay a lot more, but that extra 20% is really nice. It makes a big difference. And it's kind of like, you know, winning a golf game, right? The guy who takes first wins by one stroke and collects a purse that's 4 times more than the second place winner. You know, it's the way it is.
Yeah, or like golf clubs. You know, you buy the cheaper ones, and like, God, and you sit there with a really nice set, and you're like, oh man, this just feels so good.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
because golf clubs are expensive, but when you feel a real expensive club, man, you're like, God, I need these. I need these.
Yeah. Well, you know, one student had a great saying. He said, "Buy once, cry once." You know, so
Yeah.
you have to think about the entry level guitars. There's nothing wrong with them. They don't hold their value too well, but you know, because they make so many of them. By the way, I wanted to pass this on. One of my guitar playing friends was over, and he was saying he was watching a YouTube video on this doctor. What's the doctor's name?
Like the motivational doctor guy, that guy?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know his name, but he's got a couple million YouTube followers, so.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, he was telling people with arthritis to take and move your joints like this, you know, take them
Oh, yeah.
and move them back and forth, up and down, every joint, just get it moving. And I started doing that at night when you're sitting around watching TV. That's the highlight of my day, is watch some shows, have a little whiskey, and go to bed. It's pretty bad when the highlight of your day is to go to bed. But I'm just joking. But anyway, just getting those fingers and moving them like this and pulling on them, moving those joints, all of them, all those little joints. And I tell you, the next morning I woke up and it's like, wow, that feels so much better.
Well, yeah, you're moving it around so they can get fluid in there. Need like the
Synovial.
yeah.
I didn't know synovial fluid came from somewhere. I thought it was always in there and built in there.
Well, I think it is, but I think
It's got to be replenished, right? Wouldn't it?
Well, that, and it just, I think your bones just get so stiff that they become, or your joints become so stiff that the fluid can't get in there and to all the little nooks and crannies if you're not moving them around,
Yeah.
So, what you should do is get some get some like hyaluronic acid cream and like rub that while you do that, and maybe that you can get some of that acid in there too. Because that'll
Gives new meaning to dropping acid.
that'll help with the joints for sure. Or like collagen too. Like get a really nice like collagen hyaluronic acid cream, and while you do that, rub the cream in too. So
That's a great idea.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because then I would imagine it would kind of seep in there, and
Yeah.
it might work.
Anyway, try it, you guys. If you're having problems, just kind of work on those joints, moving them around and stuff, and pulling. The joints can, calcify.
So Mark,
Plus, they don't crack as much, When you first do it, you start doing that, this popping and shit. After a while, they don't do them so much. So that's probably a good thing. What were you going to say?
I don't remember. Oh, Mark wants to hear Wave on the 775 or one of the new Heritages.
Well,
Let's
play it on the custom.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I do want to feel like hearing that custom again, because I feel like the custom to me sounded a little better.
Well, if it did, I will tell you why.
Well, why is that?
The shallow pickups.
Okay, yeah, it definitely has a different tone to it. I think it's jazzier.
Well, shallow pickups are darker.
Yeah.
And
Dane Nobody said, always eat chicken thighs over breasts because the thighs are packed with collagen.
I'm a thigh guy.
Thighs are better. I mean,
I like
hands
thighs.
down, dark meat is way tastier.
Yeah, it's greasier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drop some Stanley Owsley, Tobias Cree says. Do you know that?
I don't know that. Ooh.
Jacob just arrived. Hey, Jacob.
Jacob, what's happening, man?
Man, Jacob, you need to get your tickets for our jazz
Yeah, Jacob.
festival. Get up here for a weekend.
I'll tell you, anybody who lives in
L.A. or Bay Area.
California, period.
Yeah.
You should come to this. But, if you want to spend the money, a lot of people, to the Rocky Mountain Festival, a lot of people were from out of state, tons of them. But there's two, if you fly Southwest, flying into Santa Barbara is a joy. And then driving up the coast, it's a beautiful sight.
Yeah, it is nice. Santa Barbara Airport is one of the best for sure.
Yeah.
It's so small.
And you'll run into Peter Noon.
Yeah.
Mrs. Brown, you've got a lovely daughter. All right, Wavy says, I'm glad you request songs I know. There's so many songs. Get ready, Wes. Did you read what Joel wrote?
Yeah.
Pull my finger. Gives new meaning to pull my finger. New meaning that little different than what your grandpa used to do. Here, come over here, kid. Pull my finger.
Now you can just pull your own finger.
Be self-reliant.
Don Spain said, also eating a small amount of raw ginger root every day does wonders. You can buy raw ginger root in the grocery store.
You know, I've heard that. I think didn't that doctor, motivational doctor?
I don't know, but all these things that you should be doing these things.
You're absolutely right. You know,
Cut out the whiskey at night and take a shot of raw ginger root instead. There you go.
what?
Yeah, the whiskey ain't doing you any favors with your arthritis. So I'll tell you that right now. And I'm not even a doctor, and I know that. So alcohol is not good for anything, except for making an ass of yourself.
Like I've done that.
No. Kim just joined us. Hey Kim, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, Kim. Hey, Kim.
Mark Larkin said, "Nice job." There was a
Thank you, sir.
There was a question earlier that I wanted to get to from.
Okay.
Oh no, did he retract it?
It's a retracted question.
I thought it was from Lefty, but now that seems like it's.
Paul says the standard has so much more than the custom.
Huh. Interesting. So much more beauty the standard acts. Huh. Interesting. I happen to think that the tone on the custom's a little jazzier and smoother.
I don't know. They're both wonderful
Yeah,
guitars.
they're both.
The thing about it is, if you went, number one, it's hard to even find a store that carries high-end guitars, let alone high-end arch tops. You just can't find them. There's a few in L.A. But that if you live in Podunk, wherever, it's rough. But so it's hard to just sit there and A/B them. But I remember the first time I picked up a 575, I thought, wow, man, that's the sound. So, and I had been playing my L4 for a long time. I just like the way that. I could balance that pickup out. I think the high end needs to be raise that pickup a hair. I forgot about that. So, one of my students, William Melton, he said he was talking with Bill Lawrence one day, the pickup maker, who's since passed, and he was saying, what you want to do if you want to start with find a pickup height, put 2 nickels between the pickup and the string until the string touches, and 1 nickel on this side. I did that, and I thought, gosh, the pickup. He said, that's a starting spot. And I looked at that, and I thought, boy, that's awful far away. So I did 1 penny and 2 pennies. And I thought, well, that sounds good. So that might be an easy way to do it. Okay, start with that. 1 penny, 2 pennies. 1 nickel, 2 nickels.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. Any other stuff in there?
No, just some other suggestions. Jacob says grated ginger with turmeric, pepper, cinnamon, and honey. Steep in hot water, then keep it in the fridge and drink an ounce every night.
Oh.
Hey, these things are probably, good for you.
Probably, yeah.
Foxtrot says, Rich, I have to share a performance on YouTube of Transatlantic Trio. Rory Hoffman's solo performance of Willie Nelson's Nightlife is one of the greatest performances I've seen.
Well, thanks
Check
for
it
sharing.
out.
We'll check that out.
Yeah. Yeah, no other, I don't see any other questions. Anybody have any thing you're working on or want some answers to? See if we can provide you an answer with something.
Why don't we do our lesson?
Okay. Let's do the lesson.
Let me play a song for you. I would just leave it at that. So that's Bridge Over Troubled Water, and it's using voicings that are these open, fat voicings that it's interesting. Like, you know, if you map out your guitar, take one key and write out where every note is on a fretboard, one of these fretboard things like this, you come up with so many cool things that you never would have thought of. So this is a voicing where I have 5/3 root. It's open because I call it open because we're skipping a string. Now technically piano voicing means that we're skipping a note and stuff. So yes, this arrangement is available on the website, on the library. Now to make that an F chord, I can keep the C, move that to an A, now I have an F. If I want a G, this can come down. Here's a G, Here's a C. Here's an F. Here's a G. Here's a C. Here's an F. Here's a G. Here's a C. Now I went B flat, and then I went B flat, F, C, and then I went. Actually, I threw an E flat in there. Isn't that a cool sound? So that way of harmonizing your whole scale is kind of a very churchy sound, isn't it? So, you know, like there. Let's see, when I used to do something different. Down. Anyway, check out that arrangement on the Guitar College Library, and I think it'll open your eyes to some things. You know, I used to have a lesson. It used to go like this, call and response, and it was just playing blues, and you went. Anyway, call and response. Hello, calling. Any other?
Yeah. So there's Lefty resubmitted his question. He had to step away for a second, but he says, so my question was, could you speak to when to play the chord in a chord melody song, and would solo guitar be similar? When to play the chord in a chord melody song.
I guess when the chord changes, like, so let's say if you have yourself a merry little Christmas. Now, as the chord changes, now you could, so it's a C chord. Then it goes to D minor. Then to a G. So, or you can harmonize the whole thing. So that you know that as a general rule, you might want to start off that way where you're playing the melody on just the downbeats, or play the chord on a downbeat, play the melody. When you get a new chord, you gotta input that chord with the melody note in it. So if you could start with that, that would be a good way to go. And then you can harmonize everything. Like, I think we talked about this last week, Joy to the World, you know. It's a scale, right? Now you could harmonize it. With traditional chords. I could harmonize it with stacked fourths. It sounds real pretty. We could reharmonize the song. So you could do it like that, you know. So there's so many ways of harmonizing a melody. So just find one way and get with it. So I hope that helps.
Yeah, and then there's also a question there from Shit is KC says, I don't know if there's enough time, but could you please talk about and maybe demo modal jazz and the differences between traditional approach versus modal?
Okay. Well, modal, generally speaking, like a modal song like Impressions or something, doesn't have any dominant chords. So your traditional songs are going to have dominant chords. That might be one way to look at it. So in other words, modal, I think of a modal tune. That's it, you know. Or you could have chords that go in, you know, just. There's no dominant chords. A traditional song would go. So you hear the dominant sounds? So I think that would be maybe a way to state it. So you know, a dominant tune is like, what was the song I was just playing? Oh, Impressions. I don't think I have that in here. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Oh, yeah. You ready?
So then what's a more traditional thing?
Oh, something that has dominant chords, like just the C minor blues, It's got dominant chords in it somewhere.
So the difference then is dominant versus what?
Just one static chord.
Oh, got it.
So it might be several static chords. It doesn't have to be 16 bars of D minor. It could be, it could be any of that stuff. It's all that. So minor blues. It's a big pointing. Anyway, get the idea. So, Wes, do you have any little update news things? Got anything?
Not really. But there's one interesting story that I saw today, and have you guys ever heard of a concert kill switch? Yeah. So imagine having a button at a concert that would just shut the whole thing down immediately. Well, that's happening in Malaysia after this performance by a newer group called the 1975. So the two members of the band kissed on stage, and again, in Malaysia, there is strict laws against anything involving the LGBTQ stuff, and so organizers immediately shut down this concert. Not just the performance from the 175. This was a full-blown music festival, and after that, the thing on stage, they canceled the whole entire festival, and now they're looking to, anytime there's a concert in Malaysia, they're going to implement kill switches at the shows that will just immediately shut down the concert and end it if anything goes against their strict laws over there.
What
in Malaysia, and so pretty interesting. I mean, I can't see that ever happening here in the U.S., but that's kind of the that's when you're strict on your laws, if you're gonna just cut a concert or an entire festival people spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars to go see these performances, and they're like, nope, we're done. See ya. So a lot of people kind of like tripping out about that, but hey, if you don't like it, then probably don't play in Malaysia. So, but yeah, I thought that was interesting. But yeah, that's about all I got. So.
Kill switch. Is there one for the live stream?
I don't know. There should be, for sure.
Should be a live stream kill switch.
Yeah. We should have hit it a long time ago.
Okay, yeah. I don't know if there's... Okay. So Ralph Stanfield has joined us. Ralphie Valadares, the roller skater for the Fabulous T-Birds. That's not true. That's what I call him, Ralphie Valadares. But Ralph Stanfield, a wonderful guitarist and singer down in beautiful Tahunga, California, where they make wine in their backyard. The Rolling Stones are topping the charts in the UK again.
Yeah.
That's great. That's good for them, I guess.
The album's pretty good. I mean...
Have you heard it?
Yeah. It just came out like last week. And, yeah. I mean, they did a good job, for sure.
There's a lot of guests on it, right?
There's a few, yeah, definitely. But, I mean, there's just them, too. It's not just like a big guest
I'd
thing.
be curious to hear.
It's good.
I own one Rolling Stone album, and that's Out of Our Heads, which is their first album, I think. I just couldn't. I just never really harmonically. I liked harmony, so the Stones aren't the go-to band to hear harmony. Let me get my headset on here.
Roland Mueller said in the news he heard Pat Metheny was heckled during a solo performance by an attendee in the front row. Wow, that would be something to see. Yeah, because he's on that. We talked about that several weeks ago. He is embarking on this big, long solo tour. He's actually playing up in Berkeley tomorrow and for the next few days. And yeah, so that's too bad, because he was, he didn't. He said Pat didn't know how to deal with it. I mean, I would imagine the guy's not really used to playing solo concerts, so I wouldn't be surprised if the heckling was involving like, all right, enough of this solo crap, like get your band up here. Maybe the guy didn't like read the fine print or the sub headline of the show to know that it was an all solo show, but yeah, that's what he's doing. I also did see a thing about Pat Metheny earlier too this morning, was that he had an interview with the San Diego Union Tribune, and he said that he rarely writes music on his guitar.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he said...
Does he write it on piano?
Yeah, he said, I rarely write on guitar. It's almost always on piano or just direct to paper.
Yeah.
It's often a challenge for me to find a guitar part, but since I'm supposed to be known as a guitar player, I have to figure out something for me to play. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
I do that with my accelerator students. I say, let's write out a solo, and I think they find it very interesting.
Like without the guitar?
Yeah, because the guitar, when you start doing that, locks you in to what you've already played and all that stuff. Sometimes it's neat just to sit down with a piece of paper, find a note, and just start writing. I think it frees you a little bit from the confines of the instrument, shall we say. And so I like that. I like that a lot.
Huh.
And piano, I think I've written tons of songs on piano, more than guitar as well. The piano is just more inspiring to me. I think it's Barney Kessel said, I'm a musician who happens to play guitar. So, you want to become a musician and then you work on your instrument. So, but yeah, it's kind of weird, huh?
Yeah, definitely. Another interesting thing that Kim just said, Beatles AI, which I didn't see this until now, but they released a new song today. It comes out. And
Oh, you're kidding. So what they're doing is AI is creating a song in the style of the Beatles. Is that
right. So let's see. It says that they tried to release this song now and then, eventually stalled out due to technical issues, original tape tricky to work with.
Original? What are they taking from the... I'd like to hear that.
Yeah, we could play it, but I'm sure they're not going to like it.
Oh, I see. We'll get banned.
Well, not banned, but
We'll get muted or
right.
whatever the word is. So why don't we'll play it afterwards. You guys play it on your own.
Right. But apparently they used AI to finish writing the song. So that, which is pretty interesting. Yeah. Trying to get a little better idea of what's happening, but yeah, that's that'd be worth listening to for sure.
It's interesting. Have you ever heard, as a songwriter, there's a thing called modeling, which is kind of like stealing, but it's called modeling. And here's the way I look at it: is you take certain aspects of a song, and you analyze the song, and you maybe play it backwards, and then you take certain elements of it and you just plug them in, or you take the whole chord change and take the essence of the chord change and then do something else with it. And I find that to be inspiring. I think one of the biggest problems with songwriting in the beginning for guys is the form. You have a tendency to if you just keep going and keep going, keep writing, you have to have some kind of form, and nowadays, or, for the past 100 years or better, it's 8-bar things, 8 bars, 8 bars, another 8 bars, another 8 bars. So try it sometime. I wish I could think of an example. Yeah, we'll have to think of that some other time. But there's modeling, I think, is a wonderful thing to. So here's this guitar.
Yeah, so Jazz Daddy says they used software to separate John Lennon's vocal and piano on the demo, so then they could have this clean version of only John's voice, then to like remix the song and add stuff to it. So the AI it was like a background noise type of thing, so it's able to separate the voices out from the piano. And so once they were able to get a clean version of John's vocal, they're like, okay, now we can go ahead and mix it properly without having the piano attached to it, apparently.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, but I mean, that's really not anything new. There's all kinds of those softwares out there now that separate the tracks of anything you put into it,
Right.
Which is super cool. That's like Chris, Uncle Chris was saying that's what he's been using, that app that cuts out, it separates, it'll separate all the tracks. So he'll be like, oh yeah, I want to play along with the vocal, he'll cut out all the drums because he's a drummer. But if you're a bass player, you can keep the drums, and I want to play bass along with this, and so we'll just mute the bass track, and it's pretty amazing, to be honest. I mean,
Right.
yeah. So, yeah. So Adrian Lee, yeah, and they added. So then they added some other parts to it, and there's apparently a documentary on how they did it.
Oh, really? I'd
Yeah.
like to see that.
Yeah, that'd be cool for sure. Have to dig around for that.
Well, I sent my thank you note back to Angie McCartney,
Oh, nice.
and I sent her a couple the holiday guitar and Blue Christmas. But I was thinking probably should have made it so holiday guitar came up first, because if she listened to Blue Christmas, she might not like that. Might be too
I don't know.
too jazzy.
Yeah, that album is killer. It's the most non-boring Christmas album that I've heard, for sure. You get a taste of Christmas, and then you get like back into the world of jazz, and you're like, oh, okay, now back to Christmas. And it's not so like jingly all the time.
Yeah. Crazy.
Although there wasn't you could have used some more sleigh bell like sounds throughout, So next time, well, I can play the sleigh bells for you,
yeah.
and I could be part of the album. On sleigh bells is my son Wes.
Yeah. Man, you kill it, sleigh bell. Let me play a Christmas song because you guys got to get busy here.
Kim said, it feels like you play Merry Little Christmas very staccato like.
Well, maybe I was, yeah. I was trying to remember it. I probably play it too fast. By the way, I played that at a assisted living thing many years ago, and the wife of Lee Morgan, I think his name was, Dennis Morgan, a famous actor back in the 40s, was there. And she said to me, she said, hey, me and my husband, we knew the guy, I forget the guy's name, who wrote that song, Have Yourself a Little Merry Little Christmas. And then she said, he would have liked your version. I thought, wow, what a sweet thing to say. Anyways.
Yeah. Jim said, is he using, Chris using UVR5 software? I'm not sure I can't remember what it was. I don't think that was it, though. It had a kind of a normal name, not a bunch of letters. I can't remember what it was, though. Kim also asked earlier if you could play Fly Me to the Moon, your fingerstyle version of that.
Well, maybe. You know, I was talking with Gail this morning. I was thinking, you know, you program into your mind all these songs, and it's not like a sequencer. You know, like a sequencer, you program it in, and then that's all it can do. That's all it does is play back what you programmed in. Your brain doesn't seem to work that way. You'd like it to, but it just isn't, I don't think, built for that. So what happens is your environment around you comes into play. You're playing a song and you're thinking, boy, that fan is loud. Or, you know, oh, my back hurts. Or, let's see, what was that chord? You know, you got all this stuff going in your mind while you're playing, and it's like,
we got a caller. Let's. Hi, you're on the live stream.
it's Michael Timms. I'll let Gail get that. Tim.
You can
Timms.
hit the end thing and it'll kill the ringer.
Oh, Gail got it. Anyway, so what happens is your brain takes all this other information in. Not only that, it takes all the other songs that you've done in the past and it I don't know how you focus so intensely that you don't make mistakes. It's very hard. One of the things that helps is knowing the words and singing the words, knowing the chords, saying the chords, beating the time, So it's weird. It's so many things that come into play. Hey, how does this guitar sound compared to the 575s?
I think it's not as good, to be honest. I like right out the gate was like, man, those 575 sound better.
I know.
They do.
You would have to adjust the amp, I suppose. Yeah, you're right. They do sound good, don't they?
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah. So anyway, that was Flaming the Moon. Sorry. I think I have a version. Not a version of that with a track, if you don't mind.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, you might have to adjust that.
All right.
once again, I didn't know where it ends. Anyway.
That's cool.
Okay.
Yeah, Jim said the Gibson doesn't seem to have the same dynamic range as the Heritage on my end. I'm feeling that too. It's a little
I think it's the
flat.
solid woods that make a difference. Maybe I should get rid of these Gibsons here.
Well, you got 2 of them, so you're gonna get rid of one, right?
Yeah. Anyway, well, Wes, what do you think? Is it time to go on the old clock on the wall?
It's
says
almost
it's time.
1.
Anybody got some last minute things that you want to talk about or anything? So Pat Evans, I noticed is here. Pat Evans.
He's been
Rich,
here.
is that Rich or Memorex? Oh,
Yeah. Garrett showed up too.
Garrett, what's happening, man? Hi, Garrett.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't have much else to talk about other than, we're going to be working on the festival and hopefully have a website ready for you to check out. I'm getting more details, so stay tuned for that. And, yeah.
Yeah, stay tuned for that. Next week, let's see. Next week, at least we're gonna have that Heritage, or excuse me, the Eastman. So yeah, next week we will talk about the Jazz Guitar Festivus. Remember that Festivus with George Costanza?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so anyway, thank you guys for joining us. I really appreciate you coming around. And hey, we'll see you next time.